Welcome back to Jules Sports Cards, and today we are going to talk about the review of 2024 in the hobby. We are going to show our next giveaway that will be launched on the channel, and at the very end, we will run a unique giveaway for these 105 cards that were pulled from both a Donruss Football 2024 Blaster and then the 2024 Donruss Football Holiday Tin. So there's 105 here. I have put the least valuable card, in my opinion, on the very top. Number 1. It's a Patrick Queen in his Ravens jersey with a Steelers card. And then I have ranked all 105 in my own personal opinion of value. And the most valuable was a little easy. It was the Tom Nalen auto pulled from there. Second most valuable, you got old Patty Mahomes on the Champions. Somebody's going to love that. Roma Dunze on the Retro Rookie. All of those different ones. If it is a valuable, more valuable, like it's got an insert or a rookie or color, I sleeved it up. The base are not sleeved. All that to be said, I'm going to run both a randomizer for the people who made a comment on that video. Anybody in the Continental 48 that's a subscriber can get that. But then I will run a random number generator. So it'll be out of 1 to 105. If it is 7, I'll mail out the 7 least valuable cards there. If it's 29, I'll mail out the 29 least valuable cards. If the random number generator hits 105, they're getting all of them, including the auto. So we're just trying something out. But we're going to run that result after this video. We're going back to the old standby of Joel Sports Cards giveaways. There is not a single repeat athlete in this entire stack. And they are all organized alphabetically. So right here, we have football, we have basketball. This is kind of the little treat of the whole thing. Jackson Churio, you can see right there the rookie logo. Box topper, just get that little holiday mega energy. Primarily, we got a fat stack of 2. It's hard for you to see depth, but baseball is the big one. And then in the corner here, hockey's the top. But there's also some wrestling and a little Lorcana. And I'm going to use these cards to talk about the year in review of what I saw, what we saw in the hobby and sports. We're going to let it be a free-flowing conversation / monologue because it's just me right now, and this is recorded. So, without further ado, let's move the Churio. This will be on top of the big, here it is, of this box that I ship it in. Unfortunately, I don't really have a great sleeve for it, so my apologies on that, but use it as an ornament next year if you would like that. So here we go with football. The year in review. I gotta get more space here. Give me some space. Football's obviously still ongoing and is the current talk of the hobby conversation the most. Bowman got licensing in a really profound way, so that's obviously helpful. I feel like people were more interested in that product than when it was here. Hank not getting his, logo. And that's not 100% new this year, but I feel like it's really solidified this year of like, okay, we can get college uniform people and not just that old Bowman U when they tried to start it off. But obviously, playoffs are happening right now. Josh Allen is the big name for everybody and what they're talking about. Not Hudson Card. Not numbered parallel there on the extra point. Lamar Jackson, you could argue should be talked about more. Jaden Daniels, you should argue could be talked about more. But the problem is, as we know, here's a great year in review topic, is that Jaden didn't have autos in the licensed products of Panini Football. Trey Lance had autos when he was the Chase back in the day. Wild era to think about there. J.J. McCarthy, now this is Sage. J.J. McCarthy does have autos in this year's products, as we all know. But he got injured. He hasn't seen the field except for preseason. Michael Penix, as the recording of this video, has not played. And so it's unclear if Penix's auto is going to be valuable. He got a little bit of a bump there when Prism came out this week and they announced that, hey, dude, shout out Gophers. The Falcons announced that Kirk Cousins would be down for the count and he's not starting anymore. They've even leaked the rumor that he will probably be cut. That was an interesting one. But so Penix there is a little bit now like valuable on the auto. But just Panini products, they've kept them coming out, just so much. And I think that's a little bit of the problem. The Wembanyama of it all too, which we'll get to in basketball. Dude, jeez, give football a minute, Joel. Has the same problem, but football just had so many cards coming out in 2024, and just not enough. Oh my gosh, I can get the Jaden auto, the Caleb auto, the Bo, the Drake, Bo and Drake's on like 2 hotels, or people from Nickelodeon, because they're probably, Drake for sure was. There's got to be a Bo in Nickelodeon's universe. But let's hop now right into basketball too. So not as many football cards here coming. But basketball, I like that staying up there actually. Basketball's big problem is obviously they had Wembanyama in Panini's basketball products. Same thing, no auto. But there was much more on the other side for basketball of Topps producing stuff. Now, I didn't chase it. I actually don't have a single Topps basketball unlicensed product here for 2024. So you're going to get some other stuff. You're going to get Malcolm Brogdon, Revolution, not parallel, just the standard base. Because I guess I just wasn't really interested in it fully. Price didn't feel like it was as worth it, and there's just so much going on. There's only so much you can do in this hobby, right? Try to have fun with it. Here we see the Bowman Chrome basketball. This is a great pivot. Not as successful of a product. Bronny James was the chase, and good gravy has that not paid out. First of all, I just think the Lakers absolutely botched that entire thing. And by the Lakers, I should say LeBron puppet stringing the Lakers. This is a side point, but how does a dad feel proud at all of like this moment of playing basketball with his son on an NBA court when it is just 100% orchestrated by your own power and influence? Like, it could have been so much more cool if in 3 years Bronny worked enough to be like, there's a chance, let's give it to him. And then maybe he got a little bit of a run for, a couple months or whatever, a 10-day contract that was legit. Who knows what it would be, but like, to just have it be first game, boom, crap, out. It's like, what in tarnation? I would just be embarrassed as a man if I was LeBron James with that. If I'm Bronny, that's totally challenging to now learn how to come back from. I mean, who's going to respect him on the court when it's that? Like, it's the easiest dig for anybody to say, yo, dude, you don't belong here. It's because of your last name, not your first, that you're here, right? So, anyways, that product, Bowman basketball in the Chrome University of it all. Caleb Love, dude, like, he's a decent player. Played for the Tar Heels. There's just no momentum in basketball in the pipeline, and that is obviously affecting the market here. The chases of Brandon Miller didn't really hit as much. Scoot Henderson didn't come through as much as he should have. And then now we're staring down an even worse class that hasn't come out, but I do think it's even slowing down people's excitement, because who are you going to chase from this year's draft that you'll start to see more in 2025 product, right? Like, Rob Dillingham is one of the more like offensive-minded players, a guard, but dude's undersized and he's playing on the Wolves, and we're not talking about the Wolves right now. That's 2 point guards from their team, and then Dario played on the Wolves too. Reed Shepard hasn't really hit in the Houston Rockets of it all. Sorry, Shea, dude, just not it. So like, I think there's trepidation. You didn't think you were going to hear that word out of a Joel Sports Cards giveaway video. That this is a little bit of a, it's on the decline. It's not going up. There's no rookie class that's going to hype this up. DJ Wagner, dude, they tried to make DJ Wagner a thing from that Bowman product. He ain't it. So basketball is definitely concerning. I mean, I think we all hope that there's momentum that's going to come in the playoffs once football calms down. Sure, something, but like, is it going to be enough for it to stand out in a way that matters? That's what I'm trying to worry about and think about. So football and basketball, we're in puberty, right? There's a transition of licensing and product. All right, here we go with the baseball. And that's challenging. That's super, super challenging, because we're waiting for the Topps takeover. And I would say there's going to be plenty of time to talk about all this baseball. We will get there. But I'm going to hold steady a little bit here on just the state of kind of the hobby in terms of Topps getting licensing. I think what is so interesting is if you even bump it back. My goodness, Joel. All right. Bump it back, the 2020, the big bump. People coming into the space that aren't just like, hey, I actually collected cards growing up and I'm excited about this. It's coming in as a financial moment. Any of the things from pump and dump to new ideas of like products, like services, all of that, huge boom. And then we've been on the taper since 2022, right? And from that, this year, I think we saw a lot of, what do I want to say the word? Atrophy in the hobby. Just like, if you look at how many people are making videos, it's still a lot of content creators, right? Don't get me wrong. But average Joe who's like not even trying to really make this a thing, but just when he buys a pack, he like opens up on YouTube just to like have fun and maybe experience that, a little bit of community from it. Those are less and less. And honestly, it's not the worst thing because like there'd be guys that are like ripping a pack and like, my baby's sleeping in the same room as me, Chris Bryant. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking. It's just like weird energy, not what you needed. So like some of that atrophy of just like the person who doesn't really know how to handle the space from a not like threatening place, but you're like, dude, you're not it. You're not going to last because you're just not even making it in life on the day-to-day grind, let alone have the right approach. Some of that atrophy's gone. But a lot of people that were like more, hey, like I'm actually pretty decent at this. I make compelling content in a way that's like helpful, like financially responsible through this all, whatever it might be. You're noticing less of those people, and the rich are getting richer, and the poor getting poorer. Sounds just like dumb to say, but like, dude, the big names, and nobody ever likes to say their version of the big names. It's one of my favorite things about just human conversation. But whoever you think are the big names in this hobby, I think they're getting bigger. I don't think they're getting smaller. They're like growing at a pace that is very relevant. But there's not a rising tide raising all ships in the hobby in the way that I think most of us would have expected to have happened in 2022, right? Maybe end of 2021, parallel there. Actually, this one is numbered. Out of 175. Diaz out of 175. Hit him with it. 10 toes in it. And my take is actually that might be a good thing. That the rising tide hasn't raised all of the above average Joes, but average, Joes plus. I don't know what I want to say. Up, because if that were to have happened strongly right now, the actual undergirding of the hobby isn't strong enough to make that happen. That's why it didn't happen, we would just kind of cannibalize each other. There would be more of the chance of the bubble pop if somehow that would have happened. Jeez, man, what a fall from any hobby conversation that should happen. All of that to be said, I'm so intrigued on what 2025 will bring. I think we're going to really sharpen the end of this era and the kind of crystallization of the new moving in. This Gonzalez is out of 572, out of Topps Heritage right there. I love this card. Like the look of it. Just wish it wasn't Victor Gonzalez. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is I think we'll really land of like there's going to be some people that are just like leaving more so, right, for whatever reason, because you don't have a great basketball rookie class right now. We're not going to have a great football class. Yeah, we're going to be talked into Shadur Sanders. Cam Ward's going to get more buzz. Travis Hunter, for sure. But that's not enough, truthfully, to have the impact that is needed. And we're just coming off of, like, dude, you think Shadur's signing in Panini? Like, that dude is built to not do that. So the divide of the Topps and Panini is only going to feel more strong there. Basketball, it's just like you don't even need to cannibalize that product. It cannibalized itself with just the lack of a college pipeline that people care about. Rookies that are on teams that are compelling, well-drafted players. There's probably going to be some decent players in this year. But when you get picked 15th and you got a Glacius 4-patch, you already know what it is. This one's actually worn and used because back in 2021, Panini did do that. They didn't just say everything was just a random, not from a specific event or game. Back in 2021, when Panini was known, it was at least touched by the player. We know that. Spencer Jones not numbered. So I think we're going to get, the products are going to be a little worse, right? I don't think it's going to be banger after banger. Baseball, now finally it's talking baseball. There's no way baseball's rookie class is going to be as good as it was last year. And what Topps did was they printed this stuff, not even just, I'm saying Topps Chrome or like Topps Heritage. Obviously, that's not this year. Topps Pro Debut. I'm not saying that they printed each one of those things to an egregious sense, although I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't have that information. But what we do have the information of is how many stinking different variations. Holiday tins, holiday megas, like update series, Chrome. Like, it's just everything you could get these guys in. Ellie De La Cruz has a gajillion rookie cards. It's literally the number, a gajillion. Kenta Maeda right there out of 25. That one's actually pretty fun. 15 out of 25. Got that Minnesota name on it. Black. And so baseball, I think, just gassed up so much of that car this year with knowing their schemes. We've heard the names a gajillion times. Wow, I'm in love with that word right now. And they're just not going to have the pipeline of people to even pump next year. But I don't think they're going to turn back. They're a business and they're trying to grow. And so with that, let's just get out of that right there. With that, they've kind of established this precedent of this is how many cards we're going to make, how many different sets are going to come out. It really felt like basically if you average it one a week, right? Like occasionally there'd be 2 types of products coming out relatively soon. But it's just one of those things that, we're on a path for them to 10x the business, as Michael Rubin says. Now, he's come and corrected that and said, that really is just like a high goal. I'm a high goal guy. Maybe he really actually wants 7x or whatever. But to say 7x, you got to have the mentality of you're going to 10x it. But you don't just 10x it by doing things the same. So this is the weird dynamic. And we felt it this year. And I think we're going to feel it even more pronounced next year of this stuff in my hands, the actual cards of it all, are less oh my goodness, I need to chase that to the moon. Obviously, there's still stuff, and they're doing their best to make every product relevant in some way. So shout out to Topps and Panini. They're not completely giving up of who cares. We'll talk maybe a little bit later about that. But there is ways that you could argue they're trying. That's what I want to say. But the amount of effort versus the growth that they're trying to achieve is just a large stretch and strain, and people are feeling it. And so then when people are feeling it, they react in a certain way. And I think we're feeling that divide of it's not just fully connected, right? We're not in a sweet spot. And with that, I think I love that card of Jackie from Stadium Chrome Club. And then this Rodon's actually numbered. Great Panini baseball. 75 right there. Carlos Rodon, 75 when he played for the Giants. So you might be like, Joel, that year in review was a little bit sad. I'm leaving 2024 and I'm hitting the thanks for the memories Fallout Boy of it all. I hope that right now I'm about to change your mind. That there actually is some positive from that. Because if everything was going hunky-dory right now, and I would just be like, you guys, it was the greatest year in the hobby. We know that 2025 wouldn't keep up with that. It's this thing. It's not growth and money and any of that stuff is not infinite. There is a finite level of resources for each person, for each company, for each move. Like, I think people want to forget that like you can't just have somebody spend a gajillion dollars on baseball products. Like, they get paid a salary and they have to buy groceries and pay for a mortgage and whatever else, gas. And so their money is only able to be put in one place. And certainly right now, there's more demand or places that people could put their hobby discretionary funds. But because that, I'm talking Star Wars, Chrome, or whatever, even Pokemon, all of the different sports, WNBA being more popular. There's no WNBA cards in here because I'm not giving them away yet. I'm trying to build up a collection there to have some fun with going forward. But more options, less resources, right? We're feeling all of that. But guess what? When it's low, people then said, this is the time. And so for you, I would even recommend just considering it. Like, is this a time for you to be focused in maybe growing something a little bit more? Whether that's buying a vintage card that you think is at its kind of relative floor. Whether that's you saying right now is the time before. I think things are going to grow even more in this hobby. And I think content within collecting is such a thing. I mean, content in our world is so relevant in general. It started off with MySpace and ranking your friends publicly, insane. Facebook, you just tell everybody what you're doing, writing a sentence. Then it's a picture of every meal you eat. This is it, too. Like, half of the fun of this is the interaction with people. Breaking is a thing because other people get excited about your cards and you're opening them. And that's what folks want, is that community. And you can get that by making content. So I think I'm saying all this to be like, yo, this is the time if you're really trying to get into content. You got to make your base now. I'm trying to do that with anybody who's watching. So thank you. I got a lot of work and growth to do to be better. We'll start going hockey. Some decent stuff here, y'all. Some young guns, actually. I'm not just throwing you base crap. All these sleeved ones have something that is relevant, and then there is some base that is just unsleeved. But yeah, like this right here is a John Carlson numbered out of 250. Hockey cards and numbering is like peanut butter and pickles, like to 100 degrees. Like, they just don't often get seen together, but when they do, they actually work really well. So giving somebody a numbered hockey card, hopefully some folk, not in Canada because I don't ship up there, but some northern United States of America person would get really excited about that. And then like these pinpoints, are cool as well. So, dude, Jack Eichel on the UD portraits, hit him with it. That's not anything that has a ton of financial value, but the financial value of that, oh my gosh, I have 2 Eichels. As I said, I don't have 2. I'm going to keep that in because I think I got rid of all of this hockey. I'm trying to just purge that, to be honest. Bedard, probably the right time to hit the hockey of it all. The Bedard hype was just completely unsustainable. It's not that he's played poorly from what I understand, although I can't really watch hockey because I don't have ESPN Plus, and that's basically the only way you can watch the league. Dude, Connor right there. This dude's having a great year. I know people are talking about that. That actually is a pretty cool card right there. Shout out to whoever's getting that Dazzler. Stay till the end for Joel's Sports Cards. You're going to see some good stuff. I mean, just trying to get rid of my hockey. I just have less boxes for it. But hockey is the same of everything. Two Kaprizovs, too. Hockey's the one that got away with it's running away from the Joel Sports Cards ideal of not giving somebody multiple of a repeat athlete. But hockey is a great example. Okay, Connor Bedard, not this guy, but Connor McMichael, was like, everybody was hyped about it, and it's just completely fallen. And I think that's going to give people a lot of hesitation that aren't NHL fans to like invest in the next guy that gets hype, because bad taste in the mouth, right? It's the Steven Strasburg pitcher effect. Here we got one of the pinpoints. It's not numbered, but it is a parallel. of that, which is kind of cool. And so when you have that, you know, you had your chance, NHL, and you put all your, and by you, I mean we, we put all of our eggs in that basket, and it fell flat. So hockey's the same way in the whole scheme of all of this. And Upper Deck still just having a stranglehold on the product is not helping either, obvi. All right, a little bit of wrestling. Wrestling had a great year in terms of the future. The Bill Simmons Netflix Ringer documentary of McMahon is obviously absolutely horrendous to watch in terms of a man that blurred reality and fiction in such a perverted way is challenging to stomach. But his removal from the company and Triple H's emergence has just made this so much more relevant. It's going to be on Netflix in 2025. And they got stars to push. Everybody from Roman Reigns to, that's just Roman right there. And so I'm really interested in what WWE is going to be doing in 2025. I would say it's got a bright future. So stay looking on that. Topps will get the licensing on that, and I think that could be great to get some Topps Chrome. And then Lorcana. I got this pack. I got 2 sleeves here on the, these are like more of the foils. You can't really tell from the pictures in here, but those are 2 foiled ones. I got these when I went to Scotland in March of 2025, and I was trying to just rip something. They didn't have baseball, football. They had soccer, but you had to like find it in, you know, a harder hobby store. But I could find this in like the mall, you know, and so I ripped a little Lorcana. Same thing. I think it's actually kind of cool. Like people like me who didn't play the game, like I had an interest in it. I think it would have been awesome to get one of the rare, what do they call them? Was it legendary? I don't even remember. Mythical. Anybody who cares about Lorcana is like, you know, this dude ain't it. But that's kind of the point. It's like I'm sort of interested in it, but I couldn't land the plane. The Elsa that had the foil and the rarity, like that'd be cool to own. Some of the more Disney movies that I care about, you know, that'd be fun to have a card. But like ultimately, it just couldn't land the plane fully. And it'll be interesting to see just all of the non-sport that is maybe going to have the potential to grow going forward. Will it be able to grab someone like me and just catapult me to the moon in the hobby? That's what you need to really have that growth. And I think 2025 is going to be a little bit of the just like fully wrapping up what I just talked about, probably a little bit more in some ways. And then we're going to start. Mark your calendars, the new era. And I think it's going to be good. I mean, that's my honest, genuine belief. It's not a pump. I believe that this thing will be more relevant going forward than it is right now for countless numbers of reasons. That Topps is going to handle it well, that the athletes that are going to come out are going to be even more stars. Right now, we're in the sterile star mode, the Jason Tatum in starting 5, just saying he loves his family. We were so trying to get out of like Len Bias, dying from just overdose, to like let's just make everybody cookie cutter. And I think going forward we're going to find this middle ground of like people have personalities and the, you know, shadow sides without being like so disgusting for regular folks to have to be able to root for their actions. You know what I'm saying? All that to be said, I have hope, but I don't think it's 2025. I think it's 2026. Because it takes a minute, right? It just takes a minute. So I recommend you lock into whatever you want right now. Because I think 2025 will be the floor. And I think you'll go up. I mean, right now I could be wrong. Anybody could be wrong about anything. It's just my opinion. But I also have the ability to hand you some cards. So hopefully you care roughly about my opinion for that reason. All right. That giveaway, this will be run in the start of 2025. Details below in the description. Please make sure you hit the like button. You comment below. I didn't make that super clear. That's how somebody wins this, but I'll do that in the comments, the comment description. And with that, there also needs to be this randomizing of this. So the next little section of the video will have that product. Nope, portion. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep watching. Peace. All right, folks. Now we got the giveaway results for these 105 cards, again, that were pulled on this video. Which product is better? And we're going to first decide how many of the 105 are going to go. So I'm going to hit this and we're going to see the number. If it's 105, it's every single one. If it's 1, you just get that top Patrick McQueen. 57. 57's decent. But 57's not enough. I'm going to go one more time. If this one's lower, we'll keep it at 57. If it's higher, we'll go up. We're in the holiday spirit right now. 87. That's good right there. 87. So I'm not going to count the cards live here because that would just be super boring. But 87 of these cards will be shipped to the person. I already got this. No, what the? Why does it say Netflix? Netflix, get out of here. What are you doing? Hit him with the intro, dude. Shout out Teal Short for making that. All right. We'll go there on the video link. Filter out duplicate user. We're not adding replies. We don't need to filter comments with hashtags at all. Let's put the math in there. That's a nice one right there. That's childlike. 8 comments that are unique. Who's all of the eligible people? You see their names rolling there. And Sir Lux a lot. I get my downtown. My downtown of a blaster. However, the 10 skips all the base cards I now have so much of. Well, Sir Lux a lot. You're about to get a little bit more of that. So, congratulations on getting some of the base, but also since 87, hopefully we got you enough there to make it worth your time. All right, Sir Larks a lot. Just give me your email address at joelsportscards@gmail.com, JOELSSPORTSCARDS@gmail.com. And 87 cards will be coming your way free of charge in the Continental 48. All right, y'all. Until next time, keep ripping. Peace.